What's up guys? On today's video we're going to be unboxing and installing a new dash cam that I just got from ARPHA. This is a 5K up front, 4K in the back. This is a pretty special one because usually dash cams are 4K on the front and about 2 in the back. Sometimes you see a 4K up front and a 4K in the rear. But this is a 5K up front, 4 in the rear, dual channel, front and back. So this is something I'm really excited to see how the quality is going to be turned out to. I've tested many dash cams, so I'm really curious to see the quality of the 5K. Now this one is also, it also has a built-in Wi-Fi, not a built-in Wi-Fi, but it has the ability to go to the Wi-Fi. It's built-in GPS, there's voice control, and there's also a parking sensor on this one. So I'm excited to see what this is all about. This is also the model number B52. So this is the one that we're going to be unboxing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and we'll go and see what's inside of this bad boy. What's up guys? Today we're going to be installing a new dash cam that I just got from ARPHA. This is their dual channel dash cam. Most dash cams out there come with a 4K front and maybe a 2K in the rear. But this one in particular is a 5K camera up front, Sony, and there's a 4K camera in the rear. So it's a pretty high quality camera. It does come with a memory card that's already here, and it has also it has Wi-Fi ability, it has parking sensors, it has a built-in GPS for the front and the rear camera, and lastly it has a voice control that's also built in, so you can access or control this with your voice. And this is the model 5B. So there's several models. This is the 5B model. All right, let's go ahead and get to the unboxing. Pretty nice packaging so far. Take a look at this first item. This is the dash cam. So this one says remove before recording. This looks like some double-sided tape. This says the Wi-Fi here. So this one looks like it swivels a bit, so it's gonna be like that. Flatten to the front windshield. And just very sleek. So it's very thin as far as there's no extension on the arms. It's just really nice and flat so far. I see it's a USB-C, so that's nice. This is the built-in memory card. So a 64 gig. It's their own, it's branded. All right, and let's take a look at the rest of the items. All right, you've got a bunch of connectors. This is looks like a USB-C with a pigtail wire. You've got a longer USB with a USB-C wire that probably goes to the rear, and then you've got the power plug, or not the power plug but the reverse camera. So this is the only one that I'm gonna have to find a spot for it on the BMW 4 Series that we're installing it today, the 2015. I'm just gonna be basically connecting this pigtail, looks like, to that pigtail, and then eventually connected to the machine. So all right, let's see what else is included. You've got some protection that's going to be, you basically stick this onto the windshield so that you're not gluing it directly on there, or at least double-siding it tape on there. You stick this on and then you stick the double-sided tape on here, so it's nice and clean. It doesn't really leave a bad residue on your vehicle. Here are the instructions. Looks like they also included a little pry tool, some cable management pieces. There's got a support in case you need to get a hold of them. So we've got your front camera, your film, your card charger, USB-C, cable clips, pry tool, storage unit, 64 gigs, and then your rear camera, which is about a 20-foot line that you guys can pull from. All right, pretty straightforward. This is actually where they recommend the rear camera. So they recommend it in the front, in the rear, middle. So we're gonna run it through the top headboard and then through the side of the vehicle. Just like this one, we're gonna go ahead and install the front camera behind the rear view mirror. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the install. All right, so this is the spot that I ended up choosing. It's right behind the rear view mirror. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick the electromagnetic film there, and then I'm gonna put the camera right there. So that's the spot that I'm gonna choose, and it's gonna be hidden from view. So let's go ahead and get that part installed. All right, there's different size film, but you don't need something so big. If you got a nice spot like this, I don't want a huge film right there, so I'm going to use their smaller film. There's a little cutout that shows where the camera is going to be stuck onto, and here is the stickiness, so you can go ahead and use this to peel. And let me double check what size the film is. So that's the sticky side. So I'm going to peel this off, and then I'm gonna lay this on the wall or the mirror glass right there. So let's do that. Make sure your window is clean. I've already cleaned my mirror window. Okay, next thing is again put the camera right there. So I'm going to leave this on until I have everything installed so that I don't get that dirty. And then again, guys, the plugs and everything is going to be on the right side, and I'm going to run it through this way, through the driver's side. So let's go ahead and peel this part off. Let's go ahead and align this. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run the wires. So again, it's actually hidden back here. I'm going to run the wire from the top right here, and I'm going to run it through the driver's side and down right here. A reason why I'm running it through the driver's side is because the cigarette plug is actually closer to me here in the BMW. So we're going to use the plug here that's closest so that it's going to be a nicer and cleaner run. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this USB-C on this end. And then the USB goes to the cigarette plug. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this here. And then we're gonna go ahead and plug this here. I'm gonna run the wire up. Okay, now you got your panel tool. I use this to stick the wires inside, keeping it nice and flush. All right, the next part is going to be a little tricky, is basically running the wire down here. Now, a lot of people make a mistake because there is an airbag here, so some people don't run the wire behind the airbag, and it will get in the way or may not actually function the way it's supposed to. So in my suggestion, I will go ahead and peel these weather strips back. You want to go ahead and gently pry this open so that you can see where the airbag is going to be deployed from. And what you want to do is you want to run the wire actually behind the airbag. So I'm looking for a good spot for me to fish this wire through. And then, so I'm checking right here, and it looks like, yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip this wire through and try to get behind the airbag. All right, so I'm pulling it behind the airbag. So this is where you want to be able to run the wire. It is a bit tricky because it's a BMW. The panels are actually a lot more difficult to access, but there is a little bit of a gap right there between the airbag and the window where you can run this USB wire through. So I'm almost through. There you go. That was the hardest part so far. Now next thing I'm going to do is just run the wire underneath here and to the cigarette plug. All right, this is probably the hardest area to do on the BMW. There's just not a lot of room here. So I barely had enough room. My hands are all banged up, but I was finally able to get it through this panel underneath here so that I can run it through the side. And that was probably the hardest thing that I spent on so far. All right guys, so now that I have the wires ran into the cigarette outlet and I have the wires plugged in here, the next thing I need to do is to wire up the back camera. So this is the back camera, and it plugs into this pigtail that runs to the front of the vehicle. Now after this pigtail gets to the front of the vehicle, it actually goes into a splitter. This line goes into here, it splits up. So it uses the same USB-C terminal and it just splits it up, and I'm able to connect it to that single USB-C that's right here. So let's go ahead and do the rear camera install. All right, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect this USB-C that's already connected there. This is gonna go to the splitter, and then this is going to go back into the camera unit. There you go. And then this pigtail is where the rear camera attaches to. So I'm just going to stick it here, and then there you go. It's all connected now. The rear camera is on as well. You did hear it that it powered on. So that's good to go. Next thing I need to do is clean up all these wires and run it properly. All right, let's bring this back up. Let's go ahead and tuck it underneath the All right, it's behind the airbag. All right, and let's go ahead and retuck everything in. Make sure it's nice and clean. You don't see any of the extra wires hanging on the side. All right, I've got the wire ran behind this side panel and airbag. So next thing I'm going to do is just wire the rest of the camera through here. So let's go ahead and pre-mount the rear camera, since I know exactly where I want it, and I'm just gonna hide the rest of the wires in. Here's the camera. I want it right here directly into the middle. And guys, this does turn, so once you find the right location and then you have it angled backwards. Now let's go ahead and hide the rest of this wire. Plug in the fish pigtail, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hide the rest of the wires and run it through. All right, so I've got the front camera installed right there, the splitters inside right there. It's gone through the behind, the airbags behind that, ran through the side, ran through that side, and then right here is where we're ending up. As you see, the light's on, so it's currently recording right now. I just need to adjust the angle, but that's pretty much set. I've had this running as far as the front camera for about a week now. One of the things that I noticed is that I do have this plugged into the cigarette plug all the time, but when you leave the vehicle, it actually turns off automatically so it doesn't drain your vehicle. And right when you come into the vehicle, before you even turn it on, when it senses the key, it starts to record already. So that's a pretty cool feature. But there is possibly a anytime always on extension battery kit that you can get to have this record all the time. But this set I currently have just uses the cigarette plug, and that's how I have it installed. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some video coverage. I'm gonna shoot some just normal driving and show you guys the video quality. One thing I also did notice during the week of usage so far is that it does pick up and automatically screenshot when it picks up me driving erratically, or when there is some motion that happens in front of the camera, or I'm serving pretty quick. I do hear the camera picking that up and taking some screenshots of it. So I've yet to see some of the screenshots that it's taken, but that's what I've seen so far. So let's watch some footage so that you guys can see how the camera looks. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and test out the back and the front camera for this dash cam. I'm gonna show you guys the quality. I'm just gonna take a quick stroll around the park at my work. I'm gonna have all the sound off. Unfortunately, I don't want to play the radio and get flagged for copyright. So there's gonna be no music that's gonna be recording from the dash cam. So sorry I can't share that audio clip with you guys. But here is the park. It's roughly about 5 o'clock, so it's not too sunny. There is a bit of shade somewhere around the line, so hopefully that will help with some color and reduce the glare. So I wish that car in the back, the Mercedes, had a license plate so I can capture that for you guys, but he's plateless right now. All right, and I'm gonna stop the video there. I think that's gonna be enough coverage, and then we're gonna go ahead and review it.